Just putting up a poll here, sorry. Do. Hello everybody, welcome back to another live stream. Been doing these a little bit more recent as of late, but then again I've been getting some good traffic, some good interaction with people, and it's good like that because I can actually people can actually come in, ask questions while I'm actually showing how to use equipment or whatever, how to operate an iron per se. So it's a little bit of a benefit like that. People can come on and just ask questions, and then we can go about showing a tutorial and a demonstration. Anyways, I was on last week. I showed people how to use a steam iron, an actual steam iron that's meant for, actually steaming pieces of clothing. Today I thought, why not we go back to the original, like I said, actual iron. I made a lot of videos about using an actual iron like this before on my channel. Always do relatively well for view count and all that. So I thought, why not show off how to use one of these on a live demonstration. People can ask questions, like I said, if they happen to come up. But that's pretty much what I'm going to be showing today. And more specifically with the iron, how to iron a shirt. I have a shirt here. It's already, you can probably tell it's a little wrinkled there. I'll show people how to iron a shirt. And I grabbed a pair of pants because there's a cool way to iron pants, a cool tip that I tend to do when ironing. So that's going to be the video today. That's going to be the live, actually showing people how to do these everyday how-to sort of tasks. So besides the pieces of clothing that you want ironed, I have, like I said, an iron itself. This is an iron. Most of the time, they'll have a dial up at the top to actually correspond with the fabric of your clothing that you have. With this one, you might actually see there's some water in here too. This also doubles as a steam iron. If I turn it around, you see these portholes. If the iron gets hot enough, it'll actually produce steam, and it's another way of ironing. It's more efficient. You get a little bit of heat, you get pressure from actually putting it at a direct surface, and then you get some steam. So you have your iron, and then right here I have a tabletop ironing board. I just have it on my table here. You can get these pretty cheap at your store. Some other people tend to like a bigger ironing board, and say if I was off the table, they actually go all the way down to the floor, and you can move it up to the height that you want it at. But again, I don't really have the space for that, so hence a tabletop ironing board. So anyways, let's actually start by plugging in the iron, and we'll let this heat up. If you have an iron yourself, or you're interested in learning how to do this every day, or maybe almost everyday task, iron's pretty good. Like I said, it allows you to get into the clothes and actually get rid of those wrinkles efficiently. You can sort of maneuver it on the ironing board and the piece of clothing to allow all those wrinkles to get off. Heat wise, I plug this in. It's normally ready to go within a couple minutes, so I'll do that. First of all, whatever you should be doing, the first thing that you should be doing is when you actually plug in your iron, or you're going to want to get an iron to use at your house, you want to grab whatever piece of clothing that you have, and you're going to go somewhere on the inside, and you're going to actually look for the tag. Yes, the tag. So I'm going to move this a little closer. The tag normally has some symbols on there. If you go, say if I'm counting that way, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth symbol there, right here, has an iron symbol. So that tells me right there that this piece of clothing can be ironed, and most of the time it'll have some words underneath, which it does. So for this piece of clothing, you can warm iron. So you can directly iron this piece of clothing. Same with the pants too. Same with every piece of clothing that you have. You can go look at that tag and actually see if it can be ironed, because some fabrics can't. So that's something that you want to look out for. With that, say if the tag happened to say low iron on it, like I said at the beginning, most of these irons have some sort of dial or temperature setting. Say if it was a lower setting, this iron goes up to 6. And it's tough to see, but levels 4, 5, 6, you almost see like a little cloud. When it gets that hot, if I have water in here, it'll produce steam. So that's like the highest setting on my iron. Like I said, if this piece of clothing or whatever was a low iron, then I know that, okay, I can actually come back and I'll turn it down a little bit so it's not as hot. So I'll put it like 1, 2, or 3. So something to consider, like I said, when actually going to iron your piece of clothing, look at the label first, because like I said, it could be a low iron, low temperature setting, and you don't want to ruin your shirt or whatever you're ironing, so you can just turn down the temperature of the iron. I guess we'll do the shirt first. That's probably the easiest. If you're going to be using the ironing board, which I recommend, you can sort of, if I flip it up like this, what does this sort of resemble? I'm standing behind it here. Sort of resembles my shoulders, this point. So this, we can utilize the ironing board and this point to actually iron a shirt. What I can do is I can take the shirt, open it up, and I can just pull it over top of the ironing board. What does that do? Well, that allows me to actually take the iron once it's hot enough and make direct contact with the shirt. And like I said, once this is on here, I'll just turn it over, but I have use of my hands, so I can actually pull on the fabric and stretch it a bit to make the surface a little bit flatter, which allows the iron to do its job and actually get those wrinkles out. I can, go about like fixing, making sure the shirt is nice and flat. Look at that, nice and flat. And then I can take the iron itself and go over. One thing, another tip, I'll move the shirt a little closer. You'll see on my shirt, I have some small decals, just like little images here and there. Sometimes you'll have a shirt or a piece of clothing that has like a vinyl or something that you can't really iron. With my shirt, good test here is run your hand over the shirt. Does it feel the same, like the same fabric? If it does, hey, guess what? You can put direct pressure over the shirt. You can iron the entire shirt. Say if I had a logo or something and it was made out of vinyl, if I went over that area and then over the shirt, there's going to be a difference. I'll be able to tell that, hey, that's a different texture, that's a different material. I want to avoid that area, because if I put heat on that area, there's a chance that it could burn or possibly like melt it, depending on what's on the shirt itself. So, little tip there. If it feels the same, go ahead. If you go over, feels a little different, don't put direct pressure, don't put direct heat from the iron on there. So, little tip. From time to time, you won't be able to tell that the iron's ready until you actually put your hand nearby. Once you feel that once you feel heat, without obviously making direct contact, you're good to go. So, like I said, I have my shirt laid out flat on the ironing board. What we want to do here is we're going slow. We don't want to go too fast with this, but then again, don't want to go too slow that the iron is in the same spot for a long period of time, because guess what? That could actually burn the shirt. So we want to go nice smooth pass back and forth. There isn't really a pattern on how do you have to move the iron. It's just make some contact, do the entire surface here, and then we'll move the shirt. So I have my iron here. Like I said, just put it on. I'm just gonna go nice and slow. Again, not too fast, but then again, not too slow. All the way down. And then it's just going to be repeating this the entire time until you can visually see the wrinkles start to disappear. And trust me, it's a little hard to do on, like to show you on camera, because you probably won't get the best view. But when you're in my position, you'll be able to see those wrinkles disappear. Again, like I like using the iron because of also the point. So say if this was a dress shirt or another colored shirt like I'm wearing, I could technically use a point to my advantage. I could go right near the collar or wherever I want to put some focus on to get those wrinkles off. Anyways, I guess you might be able to tell it's pretty good. So what I would do now is once I'm done that area, I can just sort of move it. I can turn it into directly on the ironing board itself. Again, I'm stretching out the fabric to a new area. And then we're going to repeat this process. I won't do the whole shirt on camera. I know you're not here and you get where I'm going with this, so. And if you see that, you can see some steam escape. Like I said, this also acts as a steam iron. So once it gets hot enough, if it's on the right setting, it will produce steam. The steam will just help get those wrinkles off the shirt. Again, I'll show you an example here, because if I do direct pressure and then take the iron off, you'll see the steam escape. So I'll just do this. I'll go back and forth. Get ready. I'll take it off. You can see it. Another aspect there, again, not all irons allow you to add water to it. If yours happens to allow it, you're not putting tap water in here, you're finding distilled water. Distilled water doesn't have minerals in it, doesn't have chemicals, unlike some tap water. Say if you were to put tap water in with those high concentrations of minerals and chemicals, let's say, it can actually clog these ports on the actual ironing side, and then they'll just ruin the iron. So anyways, like I said, once we're done the shirt, I would take this off, I would turn it around, I do the back side, and then there's my shirt done. I'll now show you how to do a pair of pants, and I like this tip that I'll show you is you can do it with shorts too, a pair of shorts, and we'll utilize the ironing board because, like I said, it's a great tool and it allows me to actually iron the areas that I want to iron. If you haven't ironed before or ironed a pair of pants, you're probably thinking like, okay, yeah, you're going to just drape it on like this over the ironing board. Well, guess what that's going to do? Because there isn't a barrier here, unlike the shirt was had separation. If I was to iron this, whatever, say, I guess if the fabric's bunched, if the fabric's together, it's just going to go through, and then you'll see a whole bunch of the like bunched up fabric on the other side. You're not going to get wrinkles out here. So again, we're going to utilize the ironing board, and we're going to utilize this point again. I have my pair of pants and zippers down and everything. Same like the shirt, we can sort of drape it and utilize the ironing boards. I'm going to take my one leg of the pant and I'm going to feed that over the ironing board. Obviously I can't go all the way down, but I can get up to a pretty good area. I can iron that now. Again, like I said, this technique, you can use it the same as ironing shorts, but again, now that's a flatter surface. I'm not going to replicate anything on the other side. If you're worried about the pocket, because if I was to iron this right now, you would actually see the outline of the pocket. Again, what we could do, just reach in the pocket, and we're going to pull the pocket out of the pant. And then I would iron directly below the pocket, and then the rest of the pants. So again, same as the t-shirt, direct pressure. There is no difference here. Like I said, I've already checked my tag. I know this pair of pants can be ironed. So I'm going to do direct pressure. Like I said, I can't do the entire pants. That's fine. Most of the time, once you get down to your lower leg anyways, from sitting and moving, the fabric bunches up anyways. So we don't really have to focus too much on that area. More so just the front quads and hamstring area. With the iron, yeah, you'll see steam escape. Again, I'm not going over the pocket itself, because like I said, the pocket's out. Once I'm done that area, I can just tuck the pocket back in. I'm not going over any of these areas. I'm not going over my belt loops, any buttons, if there happen to be buttons on the pants. I'm not going over any of those areas. Those areas, no need to iron those. Chances are, again, if you're wearing a shirt, guess what? That's going to be covering that. Unless you have it tucked in, but then again, the top of the shirt doesn't get wrinkled anyways. So. I would tuck my pocket back in. And then you can sort of see it, not really. I would flip it over. I would do the opposite leg. I would feed that up the ironing board. And then I would do the front, same way. Just go right in. And same thing as the back. If you go over your pocket, you're going to see the pocket. So I'm going to reach in. I'm just going to pull the pocket out, iron that area, put it back in. And just for demonstration, I'll show you what would happen if you were to iron with the pocket still in. Hopefully this actually shows on camera. I think it's faint. You can see, where is it? I'm sort of tracing it here. You can see this line of the pocket, this side line, a little bit here. What I'm trying to get is that, yes, you will see the pocket if you go over the pocket. So again, I'm just going to pull the pocket out when I iron that area, and then once it's done, put it back in. If you were to iron the bottom, which is fine. People can do that. The bottom is the only time when I personally will just drape. I'll just place a pant on the iron itself, or on the ironing board itself, and then I'll just iron directly. Again, I can't really stuff it onto the ironing board like I did for the upper part of the pant. And then again, like I said, once you actually start your day, once you're sitting down, moving around, the bottom area of the pant tends to jumble up anyways. So if you wanted to just touch up, what I've done is I've tried to make it as flat as possible. Like I said, sort of like the pocket thing. If I was to iron over any sort of uneven aspects of the pant, it'll just reflect on the other side. So I've made it as flat as possible, and then I normally just give it a quick once over. Nothing too crazy, but if your bottom half of your pants happen to be pretty wrinkled, that's something that you can do. Another thing is, say if you were to wear these pants and you ironed a little bit, say if you didn't iron the bottom, from time to time, the wrinkles will actually disappear from use, from wearing it. I know that sounds a little weird, but yes, once you actually wear the pant, depending on the material of the pant, the wrinkles will actually get rid of themselves. It's the same like if you were to wear a t-shirt, say if you went outside, it was hot, after use, the heat from your body actually will help diminish some of those wrinkles. It's not like I'm saying take a bundled shirt out of your closet that's been rolled, or in a ball, and it'll get rid of them. Obviously that won't happen, but it will help if you don't happen to iron and you have a couple wrinkles around your shirt. They'll actually go away from you wearing the shirt. It actually will. So I know people are probably like, I don't think about, that's probably not true. It is true. So anyways, that was how to iron a t-shirt, and then a pair of pants with an actual iron. Like I said, last week I showed people how to use a steam iron, and that's more specific to, filling it with water and using it for steaming purposes. Steam iron. Again, if you're wanting to purchase an iron yourself, most of the stores will carry irons. Walmart, wherever, you can get one off of Amazon too. That's always an option. And then again, another tip here is, before you even start ironing, always check the tags of the clothing that you have. Because like I said, it might need low heat, might not even be able to be ironed, and that'll specify. If it can't be ironed, I showed you the ironing symbol earlier. I'll just bring it back up. If it can't be ironed, we have the ironing symbol, and then say we just have another symbol beside it. If it can't be ironed, the iron will be there, but it will be crossed out, just like this symbol beside it. So if it can't be, it'll have a cross. Again, most of the tags will actually have written information on here that you can actually, double check with. And again, like I said, this can be ironed. So just something to consider if you are in the process of, getting an iron or want to start ironing your clothes. Stuff to consider. Anyways, like I said, that was just a more so instructional video, how-to video. I thought people might have been on comment if you had some questions or whatever, but Then again, people here, they watched it live. I sort of went through the process. I thought it was beneficial. Again, I have a whole bunch of ironing videos on my channel right now. How to iron pants, shirts, you name it. And I dive really deep in like beginner level. You just bought an iron? Okay, I'll talk about everything. And so those are on my channel. If you happen to join late, like I said, you can always go back and reference those if you want. But yeah, thanks for those people who actually came on, sticking around, learning a little bit if you haven't ironed before. So hopefully those are useful. And I mean, feel free to subscribe if you want. I'm considering doing these more frequently in the future. But then again, we'll go from there. So have a nice night, nice day wherever you're from. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.